Hi folks, back again, whether you want me to be or not. This is Bathrobe Chronicles number 75. This is kind of an interesting one. This is homeopathic suicide. Let me see here. This was now they had folks all around the world, so to speak, but really it really started, or the most protesters, so to speak, were in England, and this was Saturday, January 30th, 2010, and at precisely 10:23 in the morning, over 400 protesters took to the streets of cities around the UK, and what they were going to do, you're going to love this, they were going to commit suicide. Now, how were they going to do that? Let me start the old watch, although I'm sure this won't go very long. How were they going to commit suicide? They were going to commit suicide by taking overdoses. Now, people do die by taking overdoses of medication. We all know that, you know, sadly. But how were these people going to kill themselves? Well, it was like this group thing, you know what I mean? And the way they were going to do it is they... this is too good. They were going to kill themselves by taking overdoses of homeopathic medications. Now, excuse me. I'm sure I've mentioned homeopathic medications before, but if you guys don't know what that stuff is, let me try and explain it to you as best I understand it. Now, if 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, someone came to me and said, "What's homeopathic medicine?" Excuse me. I'm sure I would have said, gosh, I would imagine these are like home remedies that, you know, your mom, your grandma, your great-grandma, your great-great-great-grandma, you know, have been using for years, you know, like things, well, I'm not even sure, but, you know, like, oh, if you have a cold, have, you know, maybe like hot lemonade or with honey or whatever. You know what I mean. These homegrown kinds of things that were passed down, you know, through the generations. You know, home kinds of things. You know, things that that our grandmas from years ago would use. You know, to try to help us through flu and colds and, you know, things of that nature, or, you know, upset stomachs or whatever. But that's not what homeopathic medicine is, folks. This was started about 200 years ago. I didn't know I was going to get into all of this, but I think it was a guy, Heinemann or whatever, who I believe was a German fellow. It was about 200 years ago. Now, what he decided, I think there's three basic kinds of things to homeopathic medication. One is like cures like. Two is the more you dilute something, the more powerful it is. Think about that one. And three is water has memory. Now, basically what this like cures like, let me tell you what that means. For instance, if we take a healthy person, excuse me, and we come up with a substance that if we give to the healthy person, let's say it causes them to be nauseous, okay? Then what we can do is this substance that we gave them that made them nauseous, if they ever become nauseous, we will give them this substance. Okay. Number one, my understanding is there's no medical validity, biological, physiological, or any of that other stuff. And again, my disclaimer is I have no education in any of those kinds of things. Nothing in physiology or biology or chemistry or any of that junk. No science. I'm like a science bereft kind of guy, okay? But anyway, so the deal is that like cures like. If there's something that will make a healthy person feel nauseous, then when a person feels nauseous, we will give them the same thing. Okay. Which makes no sense, supposedly. Now, to add to that is we can strengthen this so-called cure by diluting it. Folks, I'm not smart enough to make up this kind of stuff. That's what they do. They dilute it. And if I'm not mistaken, it talks about succussion or something. They shake it side to side or whatever. But really what they do is they dilute it to the point where there is not a molecule of the original substance in the so-called homeopathic medications. The third thing is that they claim, water has memory. Okay, just do a simple search on Google or Yahoo or whatever on homeopathic medications. And it's truly unbelievable. Now, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before, but I was at one of our local pharmacies picking up a prescription one day, and I was in a lousy mood anyway, and I said to the pharmacist, I said, "You guys have some homeopathic stuff in here." He says, "Yeah." And I said, "It's all bogus. It's water. It's nothing other than water or sugar pills. You know that, don't you?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Why are you selling it?" He said, "Because people want it." So anyway, the long and the short of it is these people in England, and there was like one family in Florida that there's a YouTube about, that took all these overdoses of the homeopathic medications. And of course, no, they didn't die, because homeopathic medications, folks, it's nothing to it. It's water. It's sugar pills. It's benign. You could take like 50 billion. The only thing you would do if you took enough of this stuff, you'd like be overdosed on water or something. But no, no one died, and I guess that's the end of the story. The long and the short of it is homeopathic medication does absolutely nothing for you, and that was the point that these people were trying to make, is that, hey, you know, it's benign. It doesn't do anything. Anyway, as Pat Condell would say, my battery's blinking. I gotta get out of here. I wish you all well, and as Pat Condell would say, peace, ladies and gentlemen, peace.